They never valued your presence because they were certain of it. Every text replied, every call answered, every moment offered without hesitation. You became a constant, and constants in human nature are invisible. The truth no one tells you is this: when something is always available, it stops being seen. When someone is always reachable, they stop being respected. Machiavelli once said, "Men in general judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but few can feel." You showed them everything: your loyalty, your softness, your patience, and in doing so, you erased your mystery. They didn't stop valuing you because you weren't enough. They stopped valuing you because you were too much there. Every time you replied instantly, you taught their minds something dangerous: you'll always be here. Every time you forgave too quickly, you whispered, "You can hurt me, and I'll stay." They didn't lose interest because they found someone better. They lost desire because they stopped feeling tension. And without tension, there is no fascination. The human brain is addicted to uncertainty. It craves the thrill of not knowing, the ache of distance, the pulse of unpredictability. That's what creates obsession. Not love, not beauty, but scarcity. You thought loyalty meant constant presence, that showing up meant love. But loyalty without boundaries isn't love. It's self-erasure. They don't chase what they own. They chase what they can lose. When you became predictable, you became safe. When you became safe, you became background noise. And when you became background noise, you disappeared. Not from their world, but from their awareness. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. The wise man does it once, what the fool does finally. You waited too long to disappear. You delayed your silence. You delayed your withdrawal. Scarcity isn't manipulation. It's alignment, a return to gravity. It's remembering that your attention is currency and your energy is a throne. They treated you like gravel because you offered yourself like gravel, scattered, abundant, everywhere. But a diamond doesn't chase to prove its worth. It simply exists, untouchable, desired, and rare. There was a man, call him Leo, kind, loyal, always available. He texted first, stayed last, forgave before anyone apologized. And so people loved him conveniently. He became the emotional furniture of their lives, always there, always waiting, always dependable. But one day, he disappeared. Not in rage, not in revenge. He simply stopped showing up. He stopped explaining. He stopped chasing. He stopped making himself available. And one by one, they came back. Not because they missed him, but because they missed control. Machiavelli once said, men are driven by two principal impulses: love and fear. Leo had been loved lazily, but now they feared losing what they could no longer predict. That fear, that uncertainty, became obsession. Humans don't value what's good. They value what's hard to access. You can be brilliant, kind, intelligent, emotionally aware, but if you're too available, you'll be treated like wallpaper. Availability kills mystery, and mystery is the oxygen of attraction. Think about the last person you couldn't quite figure out, the one who didn't text back immediately, the one who left space between their presence and your desire. Didn't your mind wander? Didn't you overthink? Didn't that silence make you obsessed? That's the psychological trick of scarcity. What we don't fully understand, we can't stop thinking about. But here's where most people fail. They try to be scarce, but leak energy. They watch stories. They like posts. They accidentally comment. That's not scarcity. That's theater. True scarcity is absence. It's the silence that can't be staged. It's emotional invisibility, not to punish them, but to remind yourself that you are not a performance. Let me give you the formula Machiavelli would have approved. High value plus limited access equals obsession. Every time you over-explain, over-text, over-prove, you turn your infinite energy into a cheap commodity, and nothing infinite is ever treasured. When Leo disappeared, something strange happened. They checked his page. They stalked his silence. They asked friends, "Have you heard from him?" At first they thought he was sulking. Then they thought he'd come back.
But when he didn't, the fear set in, because nothing terrifies the human mind more than losing emotional control. They sent, "Hey stranger," they liked old posts, they tested his response. But Leo didn't bite, and for the first time, they faced a version of him they couldn't manipulate. That's when obsession bloomed, not out of love, but out of confusion. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Fear in this case isn't terror. It's the quiet fear of losing access, of no longer having the key to your emotions. Once they sense that door is closing, they start clawing at it. They panic, not because they love you, but because they can no longer predict you. Be warned, they won't come back with full hearts. They'll come back testing, probing, looking for cracks. A single emotional leak, a fast reply, a nostalgic post, and the illusion collapses. The moment they sense you still care, they know they still own you. That's why scarcity must be real, not pretend, not dramatic, not noisy. Silence is your sword. Disappearance is your proof. You don't vanish to hurt them, you vanish to recalibrate yourself. When you're gone, the right ones respect your distance. The wrong ones only chase to regain control. Both outcomes are victory. Yes, you will lose people. You'll lose those who only loved you for your availability. You'll lose the ones who fed on your responsiveness. But what remains is power, peace, clarity, and eventually, respect. Because people only respect what they cannot command. You don't need to threaten. You don't need to post quotes about your worth. You don't need revenge. Just silence, stillness, presence withdrawn. That's real power, the kind that moves without words. Machiavelli called it the art of appearing present when needed and retreating before they believe they own you. You're not walking away from love, you're walking back into dignity. And when they finally realize you're gone, truly gone, it will hit them like grief. They'll reach out, they'll test, they'll joke, they'll provoke. But every reaction you give feeds their control. So you stay silent because silence speaks in frequencies they can't handle. And as they spiral, you rise. As they obsess, you heal. As they chase, you vanish into peace. You are no longer their emotional vending machine. You are the myth they created through your absence. A mystery reborn from quiet strength. Remember this. If you want to be remembered, disappear silently. If you want to be valued, become expensive. If you want to be chased, stop being predictable. And if you want to be powerful, let your absence feel like a theft. Machiavelli was right. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their inheritance. So make them feel your absence as loss, not noise, not punishment, but proof that what was once free will never be free again.